Hey, and welcome to Fan Theory Queries, where we analyze fan theories from all over the internet, but mostly Reddit. I'm Laura.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Spencer.
And so our theory for this episode is that Boo from Monsters, Inc. is also Violet from The Incredibles. And that comes from user Ozertron.
Now that's new for me, because I've heard Boo, I mean, the Pixar universe, like they're always connecting that.
Right.
People are always connecting that. So this is going to be new, and I'm very interested in this, because I've heard of Boo being connected to other movies, but never Incredibles.
Yeah,
this is new for me.
I'm just going to go ahead and dive into it. So they say, this is something I've been thinking about all week. Let's start off by mentioning how Pixar absolutely loves to put Easter eggs into their movies, which can be seen here, and how Boo is put into Toy Story 3 as a small cameo. Why can't she be in The Incredibles? All right. So I'll go a little bit more in depth. Here is Boo in kindergarten, and here is Violet. Look a little alike? I know what you're going to say. Ozertron, you handsome devil. Their hair color is different. To which I would reply, well, so what? It's not like hair color is something that will never change, especially on a teenager growing through a moody phase, trying to seem more mysterious. Back to Boo. In the scene in the locker room in Monsters, Inc., while Sully is playing hide-and-seek with her, he is amazed at how good she is at hiding. Why, it's almost as if she's disappearing and reappearing in another spot altogether. And no, I don't mean teleportation, I mean invisibility, or maybe even some light telekinesis. Boo, being as young as she is, wouldn't understand completely how her powers work, and would only be able to use them when she is happy and relaxed. Which explains why she doesn't use them when she is afraid of Sully's child-scaring demonstration or around Randall and his scream extractor. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but didn't Violet have a similar problem where she was unable to perform under heavy pressure or have little faith in her ability, possibly stemming from some traumatic early childhood experience where they didn't help her out in a bad situation? I'm not too sure on that one. I haven't seen The Incredibles in a while. Early on in Monsters, Inc., it is established how each professional scarer is assigned to children that suit them the best, which would work out well because Randall's camouflage or invisibility would be ideal with a toddler coming to terms having superpowers. Randall would be the representation of what Boo doesn't understand about herself, or possibly what she may become, which fits in with her being only able to use them when she is happiest or the most sure of herself. At the end of Monsters, Inc., Boo is no longer afraid of Randall, which in turn allows her powers to flourish. In the locker room scene, it would have been easy for her to turn invisible or to simply float over to the stall's walls. But what about her clothes, you say? Well, in The Incredibles, Violet turns her head invisible to peek around corners or over a set of stairs, and isn't it possible that Boo would do the same thing? What does that have to do with her clothes?
I don't know, but that's just the...
Okay,
Keep reading.
Sorry,
We'll talk about it.
I got lost. Okay. Or possibly her overprotective father could have had his superhero fashion designer friend make her some all-purpose toddler invisibility clothes so she could be better protected in case she ever needed them. Mr. Incredible would have known about her powers from a very early age, proven by Mrs. Incredible saying how Jack doesn't have any powers. On the subject of Mr. Incredible, didn't you ever wonder why Boo identified so quickly with Sully? I mean, it's not like his large, hulking frame could have reminded her of anyone, right? I also noticed that Boo had a complete lack of fear of heights when she was happy, and with Sully, almost as if she had a way of catching herself with her telekinetic powers so that she didn't hurt herself. Too long didn't read? Boo from Monsters, Inc. is Violet from The Incredibles because of reasons.
What a cop-out at the end.
Yeah.
OP. Because of reasons. That's like as bad as... There was another theory there at the end where they just were like, okay, bye.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
There's
that's not a too long didn't read. That's like, let me repeat the title.
Yeah. I've got
Yeah.
a lot of things to say about this
I
theory.
can't wait to hear them.
Okay, so first off, there's a point in the theory where it says in the locker scene, it would have been easy for her to turn invisible or to simply float over the stall's walls. But what about her clothes, you say? Well, in The Incredibles, Violet turns her head invisible to peek around corners or over a set of stairs, and isn't it possible that Boo would do the same thing? First off, what does that have to do with her clothes?
Right.
I think what they're trying to say is, and I'm assuming, is that she could be doing the same thing that Violet was doing, like to look or to see where she was, where she, where she, like I don't remember the scene specifically what's happening. But like if she needed to look and see where someone was going to be or whatever, she would be able to peek over with just her invisible head, um, and her clothes. She'd still be able to wear her clothes.
But
Okay,
what are they saying about floating?
She's saying that they're saying that. Hold on a minute. It would. I don't know.
yeah. It sounds to me like this person had just a random thought of, oh, this person could be this person, and they started grasping at straws to try and figure out how they could explain this random thought.
Well,
They also
especially
could have been under the influence of substances while writing this.
they
Very,
said
very true.
the thing is they said they hadn't watched the movie in a while. Like, well, if you're gonna
What?
put together a theory and put it out there, maybe you should watch it again before you do that.
Mm-hmm.
I
Exactly.
mean, I'm no expert. Actually, I am because I have a podcast about it. But I do agree with that statement of, yeah, you really need to revisit your source material before doing all that.
mm-hmm.
And also, like, and again, they're actually referencing two different films. You're gonna have to watch
Yeah.
them both, pal.
Right.
Do you know how much research I did when I wrote my prestige theory? I did a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good theory.
The prestige theory is a good theory.
Mhm.
Thank you. I
um,
think so too.
this one,
That's
I
right.
don't,
Yes,
I
thank you
don't,
for that clarification.
yeah, this one is, I don't know. I'm not going to reveal anything yet.
Okay,
So,
well then why don't we move on
well,
to some highlighted comments
I will.
here? Oh, wait,
I
sorry.
want to add one more
Yeah.
piece of opinion. Um, I think I was wrong when I said their TLDR was stupid. I think that really is the TLDR of
It's
this
just
theory
reasons.
as reasons. Like this theory is very, very long, and it takes a very long time to say not a lot.
This theory was written 10 years ago.
mm,
So, and to say because reasons, that sounds like a junior high or a high school kid.
Maybe it was.
it
But
probably
this
was.
person is 10 years older now, and you should be embarrassed
Mm-hmm.
and go and delete this theory. No, I'm kidding. We still need to read over some highlighted thoughts. I'm kind
Yeah,
of
Reddit's really
I'm
good
showing my
about
hand here.
Reddit's really good about deleting comments and theories and stuff and profiles. Like, why
Hmm.
did this slip through the cracks?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Um. Anyway, I'm gonna read some of the comments that we found from this. Jaylee Joy says, "I really like this theory, but as a side note, I still don't believe that it's Boo in Toy Story 3. It doesn't look like her. There's really no reason to believe it's her. She says, Boo, sure, but usually Disney Pixar is more purposeful in things like this. I think that's just a coincidence. But I think this whole Violet is Boo theory works even better without the kindergarten version. Boo has black hair, so does Violet. That kindergarten girl has brown hair.
What did they do?
Boom. They've got the
What?
same color hair, therefore they must be the same
Why'd they bring in
person.
Toy
Yeah,
Story 3?
because it was very briefly mentioned at the very beginning of the theory. And that's
Oh.
another one of the
Oh,
Boo
that's right. Okay.
lookalikes in Pixar movies.
Okay.
There's a girl in Toy Story 3 that says
Hmm.
Boo.
Well, and I
Um,
will say there were other comments about that in a different thread
hmm
it had been debunked
Yeah.
that I feel like it, and it was confusing because some people were trying to say that Bonnie was Boo, and then other people were trying to say no, people think that Boo is one of the kids in Bonnie's class, but that's actually been debunked that that's not her.
Mm,
So yeah, because
interesting.
she's like holding in their class photo a teddy bear that is the same colors as Sully.
Yeah.
Hmm. So we're saying it's not her?
Right. There are a bunch of people coming out saying that Boo is not in Toy Story 3.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Well, the next comment we have here is from Freakazette. They say, "Well, I like this theory. Isn't Boo's real name Mary? It's on one of the pictures she shows Sully." That's a valid point.
Hmm.
In response to that, Atomic Fire says, "What if Mary is her real name and Violet is a super's relocation thing, or vice versa? They didn't constantly move to shield their lives. Or sorry, they did constantly move to shield their lives. Either could be fake names because they were hiding her identity. Violet could also be a nickname." And in response to that, user Enrique says, "Valid point. Like short for ultraviolet, a possible reason for her invisibility."
What is? Can you explain her power? She just is
Uh,
visible.
Well, she can turn herself invisible, but then she finds out because her family is in danger in this one moment, she out of
mhm,
nowhere is able to make a force field around them.
Okay.
yeah, she's basically the Invisible Woman from Marvel.
Okay. Um. So this all revolves around this one scene of hide and seek,
Hmm.
and they say it's almost as if she's disappearing and reappearing in another spot altogether. Now, if
Oh, in the bathroom?
yeah, if
Yeah.
in the locker room, if I remember
Oh yeah, locker
correctly,
room.
it's almost instantaneous, isn't it? I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Mm,
not exact like boom boom, but even if she was turning invisible, I don't think that's enough time for her to become invisible and then move.
I feel like it was almost like Scooby Doo esque of
Yes,
going into one place and then popping out in another one.
so
that's kind of how I was feeling too.
arguably, it could be instead of being and becoming invisible, she could just have super speed like the Flash.
Or her
Yeah,
brother.
Yeah, and it would just appear.
Dash.
yeah.
Yes,
Not Flash, Dash.
Hmm.
it would just appear as though she went invisible and
Also, what they're saying about the whole her mood being an indicator of how her powers work, isn't that also linked to Jack, the baby brother,
hmm.
which is not in the first, it's not explored in the first Incredibles.
It
It's
is.
this
It's in an after credits scene in the first Incredibles, but it's not fully explored and fleshed out until the second Incredibles.
right. So that like it's all in his mood that determines which power comes out in him because
Right.
he has a ton of different powers, I think.
Yes.
'Cause I haven't seen the second movie yet. I
Okay.
keep wanting to. But and so I mean that does sound I mean since they're family, that
Hmm.
would be a genetic thing, I would think.
Yeah. That's a good point.
I don't know. We only see this one little funny scene of them playing hide and seek, and this is in only even somewhat remotely an indication that this character has some kind of special abilities. Um, yeah, and I just took it as a gag
Yeah.
and didn't think
Same.
more of that. But anyway,
Hmm.
I'm gonna think a
That's
little bit
true.
more over our break if whenever it's time for that.
I'm good for a break. How about you, Michael?
Oh yeah. Let's go. Hey guys, we're back. How about I go ahead and give us a rundown on the ratings scale before we start giving these things ratings?
Kind of like how the Flash runs
What? The Flash runs.
or Dash.
The highest rating that we have is Genius. This is reserved for only the best theories, which we believe are better than the actual canon. The next step down is Plausible. It's a good theory, it's believable. Unlikely is next. It's not a terrible theory, but pretty unlikely, as the name suggests. And then the last thing is Preposterous. These are the theories that are just stupid. Basically, we're all dumber for having listened to them.
Okay.
Okay, can I go first?
Yes, absolutely.
I want. Can I? I want to be the. I want to have the first opportunity to poo poo on this theory.
Oh,
I
well,
think this
if that's
theory.
not a hint, I don't know
I
what
think this
is.
theory is preposterous. I don't think there's any chance whatsoever there's any truth to this theory. Let's look at the things that we haven't already said. Um, they don't look anything alike, especially if the picture of Boo in kindergarten taken from Toy Story has been debunked as not being Boo, so you don't have a reference picture for that. The whole power thing we already talked about of who says she has powers. There's no other instances of her using this that I remember. And stupid. Um, okay, Sully's big. Mr. Incredible's big. Oh, well, he must remind her of her dad because he's big. Her dad also was not covered in hair or have horns.
Hmm.
So, like, what? How is no? This I don't know why, but this makes me angry for some reason. This
Yes,
is
it
this is
does.
preposterous.
Okay.
Okay, I have to agree. Yes, this is preposterous. Um, Ozertron, I applaud your
I
effort.
don't.
How
No.
we need the thing is, there's a whole lot of fluff here and not enough substance. We need more substance here to support your theory because this right now is just a bunch of supposition and blabber. And I never in my life thought I would use those two words together on a podcast. But hey, today's the day.
And it's all your
Thank you for
fault.
that opportunity, Ozertron. Uh, yeah, just they both have black hair and big eyes is not enough for me. um, and that little scene of the hide and seek, no, that's not enough. We need more to be able to connect them. Otherwise, really, what you've shown is that there is no connection at all. So it is preposterous.
Hmm.
Yeah, not everything in the Disney Pixar universe has to be connected to each other. So
Like
this is
Marvel.
preposterous.
Hmm.
It's just there's not much more to say that you guys haven't already said. This is just a waste of our time. I mean, I feel dumber for having to.
Oh, don't say that
Okay.
because then it's a waste of our listeners'
No.
time.
No, it's a waste of Michael's time, not our time. I've had fun.
Yeah.
Especially with how we're going to end this episode. Um, you know, I'm not going to enlighten anybody with some newfound information. I'm going to give you a reminder of something because I had forgotten
Ooh.
this, and we go through life, and sometimes the points movies try to make are lost on us, and we remember them for
Hmm.
different reasons, not from what was originally happening in the movie. And I was reminded of this by user Wobbling Goblin 01.
Hmm.
They were just put it out there, a friendly reminder, everyone, that in Shrek, Fiona chose a literal ogre over a short guy in the movie.
Oh.
So I don't know what that says. I guess if you're short, then tough luck.
Oh my gosh.
I have no comment.
I have comments.
Keep them in
I
your
have
pocket.
comments. I want hey, here's the deal. You want to discuss this with me? Come join our
Ooh,
Discord.
yeah.
I'll discuss it with you there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's $3 a month. We'll hash it out. And it's not going to be an adversarial thing. I'm totally open to just talk, but trust me, I'm coming at you with some knowledge and like firsthand knowledge too. I played Fiona. So there
Mm.
you go. On this in the stage
Like a
musical.
Hmm.
violin.
So let oh okay. Uh so come join our Discord. $3 a month. I'm gonna plug that again. And on that note, this has been Fan Theory Queries, and I'm Laura.
I'm Michael, and we here at Fan Theory Queries love all people tall and short, unlike Fiona.
And and green, I guess.
You too.
And
And who are you?
I'm Spencer,
Yeah.
and I want you to remind you to subscribe to Fan Theory Queries, because in our next episode, you don't want to miss this. We're gonna ask the question in Super Mario: are coins actually souls that Mario's collecting? Subscribe, and you won't miss that or other fascinating fan theories that we cover.